There's a new documentary getting a lot of buzz at TIFF right now. The Square takes a look at activism, unrest, and revolution in Cairo's Tahrir Square. Have a look at a clip.
بيضرب في كل حتة بطريقة عشوائية في كل مكان في الميدان.
And joining us now are the filmmakers. Jahan Nujaim, producer Kareem Amer, and Khalid Abdullah. Thanks so much for coming, you guys. So, yeah, no problem. Can we start with the access that you got? I mean, this was an angle of this story that we haven't seen, and we've seen a lot of pictures over the last couple of years. So how did you get that kind of access going right into the thick of things?
Well, it's a public square, so pretty much anybody could be there. I live about 10 minutes away. I grew up about 10 minutes away, and I'm Egyptian, as is Kareem and Khalid, and so we all went needing to be a part of this. This was our country, our lives changing. And we were lucky enough to all meet each other. The entire sort of crew and everybody in the film met each other in the square. So
Really?
yeah, so it was an incredible way this whole film came together.
How did you meet each other? How do you connect that way?
We were all in tents sleeping in the square.
Oh, wow. What kind of danger were you in? Because the clip even that we saw is very frightening.
I think everybody on this team has either been shot at, run after by police or army, or been arrested once or twice. So it's been, but everybody needed to be there. Everybody was very passionate about what they were fighting for. So there was no question as to whether we would stay or not.
Can you talk a little bit about the camera rolling, you know, on a lot of events? You guys were running at times. There were things captured that, as a viewer, I didn't even realize you'd be allowed to. I mean, were there times when you were stopped, when police, you know, didn't allow you to shoot or anything like that, or any confrontations?
You've got to answer that question. I'm in the film, and I didn't shoot it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think what happened was that, you know, there was no pre-production, as Jahan was trying to get at. So it was a kind of a spontaneous, spontaneous reaction to what was happening. And I think that at a certain point, you start realizing that you're making a film, but you're also documenting a piece of history, and that the material you're documenting has a role and a place outside of just the film. And so there was this constant filming going on that our team felt an obligation to do, and we were, it was kind of the feeling of the times, you know, and Khalid was spearheading, you know, one of the leading organizations that was involved in really carving the alternative media space and really challenging what was being broadcast in the Egyptian media and in media abroad by allowing people who were shooting live in the square, whether it was in rudimentary ways with camera phones or whether it was with more sophisticated cameras, to be able to take those events live from the front lines and take it to a place like Musirrin, where it could then be broadcast and shared with other groups of people. So, and I think that was one of the most empowering experiences of this film, this idea that we can shape the narrative ourselves, that we're not going to allow history to be written by the government or by those who control the usual narrative.
Yeah, and on that note, so far, all the risks that you've taken, how have you seen them pay off as the film has been released to audiences?
Well, last night was our first public screening. We got a lot of buzz about it, a lot of people writing about it, so that's been fantastic. It's the first film that I've worked on where, you know, you're not only making a film, but you're also being a witness, and that's part of and documenting. So everybody in the square that we worked with who had cameras were sort of playing two roles. You know, there were many times when normally you make a film, you follow characters. The characters would be long gone, and it would be 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would still be there with the camera, and other team members as well would be there, because people would say, you're the only camera in the square. You have to keep documenting because you're the only person that's going to be able to, you know, get this out to the world. So these important pieces of footage have been coming up and been released throughout the year. Now that the film is out, it's able to show a longer narrative of what's happened behind the scenes, behind the headlines over the last couple of years. And that's not only an Egypt story, it's sort of the story of, what happens to the Martin Luther King or the Gandhi when they're totally depressed and feel completely alone and like they've completely failed. Right? This looks at activists as they go through this roller coaster, and those times when people feel like they've failed and that they can't move forward and that they have no support are actually more important times than the times when they feel like they have the world behind them, which is the times that we see in the news. But in order to be an inspiration to other activists, what I'm excited about this film doing is showing those times when Khalid felt like, there's nobody listening to us, I'm completely alone in this square, because those are the most important times when you have to find the strength within you to continue to fight.
But you did get an audience award before the film had even been fully screened at Sundance, right? So you're doing the job you set out to do with audiences, which is really great.
Yeah, and that's the best award you can win, really. Like the People's Award, the power, is much better than any kind of jury award, I have to say.
Great, we've got to go, but can you tell us what we can do on social media to spread the word about this film?
Khalid is, what can we do on social media to spread the word about this film? Help us here. Tweet about it, write about it, tell all your friends about it. We have another screening at 5:30 today, which might be sold out, I'm not sure, and then there's another 2 screenings.
Yeah, but I think beyond TIFF, the goal is to really connect audiences to the messages of the film. Me and Khalid were just talking about this earlier today, actually, the idea of, this film being a vehicle for people to gather. We were outside smoking a cigarette, and he's like, people need to gather. They need to get together and start having conversations. And we want to use the release of the film to encourage communities to get together and have a conversation, because what the film is trying to highlight is the power of people and how we, in today's day and age, how we can weld that power and the beauty of it, but the difficulties of it as well. So
absolutely. And there's an extended interview about the film on Q. Go to cbc.ca/Q. You can listen to that. It's really great. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks for coming.